This is the Carlisle United Church in the village of Carlisle. It's a very small community north of London. And as youngsters, we went to this church with this old graveyard dating back to the 1800s beside the church. So Mom and Dad Walker are buried here along with many familiar names. And as a youngster, I would stand beside the church and listen for the whispering pines, the trees that surround this beautiful cemetery and this old church. They'll speak to you if you stand and you listen. It's pure magic, and you have to stand real quiet, and it's almost spiritual in the sense that it feels like it's surrounded by spirits watching over those who lie here at the cemetery at the Carlisle United Church. And I've got great memories of this location. I stood here once and I put my elbow on this cross as if I was waiting for this angel to say something. And again, it's a very spiritual thing. I'm not sure who lies here. Leighton is the name on the bottom, but it's the trees that speak to you. Whispering pines, and I'm sure others have experienced it as well. We'll see if we can find Mom and Dad's marker, and I'm looking at it. Their son, John E. Walker, 1910 to 1983, and Mom, his beloved wife, Sarah Allen, 1912 to 2011. Their bodies lay here, and this is a very special spot for us. And along with other familiar names, the Watsons, the Shipleys, the McFarlands, the O'Neills, there's a lot of history in this old cemetery, a lot of stories that have gone to sleep with those who are resting in peace, and may they continue to rest in peace. Sadly, a lot of the small community churches in Canada, and in particular in Southern Ontario, have closed their doors as the congregation size has dwindled. And unfortunately, this has happened to the Carlisle United Church as well. Growing up, our farm was about 5 minutes away from this little hamlet of Carlisle. And every Sunday, Mom and Dad cleaned us up, put us in our Sunday best, and off to church we went. From Sunday school to sitting in the pew and listening to a sermon, possibly about something we knew nothing about. But in any event, I don't regret those times. It was a place of worship and respect. And back then, a lot of the stores were closed on Sunday. And we understood that. Brother Dick is taking us around the little hamlet of Carlisle, showing us the new homes that have been built there and new families that have moved into the community that like the peace and quiet of Carlisle. It's about 25 minutes north of London, and you've got lots of space, lots of room for a young family to grow. And we again thank Brother Dick and Sue for their time that they spent with us and showing us around Carlisle, Ontario, as we toddle along.
watches TV, he won't do anything. But he's
This is a horde.
Yeah, and she's worried.
He had
about
a,
it.
see this tower? Had
Yeah.
here? Had a windmill on it. It was all wood. We had a real high wind a while ago. Blew all the shit.
And I like that.
Yeah.
No, it was pretty. It was really pretty.
I don't know the people in here at all.
Tour of Carlisle.
Yeah.
So we thought in Carlisle.
Yeah.
Sweet.
There's some chicory.
little village.
See it?
Yep.
That beautiful stuff.
Carlisle.
I like
You can
that.
put that in coffee.
What did you say?
Yeah, you can be the little village of Carlisle.
These people are new in this village.
There's some that are new. They've
Layton's
been
used
here
to live there, but they moved out there.
That's where the band was Saturday night. Beautiful waves.
As Eileen and I walked down the wooden stairway that leads from the top of the cliff up by Port Glasgow RV Park all the way down to the beach, we could hear the roar in the foreground. And I was expecting giant waves to be washing up on shore, but that wasn't the case. But it sure was loud. It sure was beautiful. Absolutely a gorgeous sunny day at Lake Erie, just at our campsite of Port Glasgow RV. So we spent a bit of time down at the beach here, just soaking up that beautiful Southern Ontario sunshine. And not an awful lot compares to being around the water when you're on vacation. It was gorgeous. We didn't bring our lawn chairs, we didn't have a picnic, but we weren't that far from the fifth wheel where we headed up after our visit to the beach here at Lake Erie, and just enjoyed the sights, the sounds, listen to the roar of those waves as they're splashing and working their way up to the shore. And the birds overhead and the sunshine, as I mentioned, just made us feel a lot more complete on this leg of our journey into Southern Ontario. And it's fun poking along the beach. We had this section all to ourselves. There were no other visitors, nobody else. So we could spend as much time as we wanted to down here and enjoy this beautiful part of southern Ontario along Lake Erie. It doesn't look steep because, as everyone knows, a GoPro has a very difficult time showing angles and the rises and the inclines. But we've toddled down to the beach from our campground here at Port Glasgow, and you've already probably seen some of the footage of the beach that we got. The waves are absolutely gorgeous. The sound that the waves make is just, it's magical.
The roar is just amazing.
Yeah, you could park a lawn chair here and sit for 4 or 5 hours and just enjoy the beauty and the calmness of the waves washing up on the shore. But in any event, oh look, a rabbit. I don't know if you can see him or not. He is right there. There he goes. He just moved. There, he's hopping away. We're going to give my new knee a workout going up this rubberized pathway back to the campground.
Up the cliff.
Up the cliff.
Yeah, up the cliff.
They look like old transport tires that have been bolted to, well, probably some big boards underneath. I'm not sure. I think this, oh, there goes that rabbit. Hey Jack, is that you?
I think the stairs were easier.
I think so. This is the final day of our stay at the Port Glasgow RV Park on Lake Erie, and we're not doing any traveling today, getting the trailer ready to head back west tomorrow. So we've made it, and that was quite a hike. So we called Uber, and this is what we got. My brother and Gail showed up with a golf cart. So we're driving around Port Glasgow in Ted's golf cart. We're going to go down to the Well, we made it to the Tin Cup RV Park in Illinois, just off Interstate 74. And we left the RV park in southern Ontario, Port Glasgow RV Park, at about 7:30 this morning, and it is 20 after 6 local time. And we put on about 800 kilometers and thought we better start looking for a park, find a place to camp for the night with the RV and the truck. It's a beautiful park. We're not on the levelest of sites, but it'll do, and everything seems to work fine the way it is. It's just a great location, about 7 minutes off the interstate, and you're surrounded by these big, beautiful trees all around the park, and pretty reasonable. I think we paid $47 US for the night. Lots of space, lots of room, and we were getting kind of worried we'd have to do a Cracker Barrel or a Walmart. But Eileen is in the trailer and preparing a dinner, and then we're just going to relax and take it easy. And then we're westbound. We're heading back to our home base in Langley, British Columbia. So toddlers, what a journey this has been. We tried to avoid the Chicago traffic as we crossed the Detroit-Windsor Bridge, and I think we kind of went out of our way. Maybe we should have taken a route along I-90, I-94, but this way we get to explore a little bit, and it's all about toddling in. And for that's what we like to do, is share some of the roadside stories. Lots of truck traffic on the various interstates around this part of the United States, and we're hoping to hit more of the Midwest and then work our way right to the West Coast and then into British Columbia and escape some of the heavy truck traffic. We were surrounded by, just got bit by a mosquito. We were surrounded by large semis pretty well much of the day once we crossed the Detroit-Windsor Bridge, the Ambassador Bridge, and then started working our way south to avoid much of the Chicago area, and then west, north, and we're currently heading on a northwesterly direction up toward the Canadian provinces. So roads, well, they're not the greatest. It's as if you're on a bucking horse in some sections, and you got to slow down. And I think it's the heavy trucks really beat this out of the roads here. But in any event, we've toddled here, and tomorrow our journey westward continues. And if we have any interesting sights along the way, then we'll certainly stop and give you our perspective of what we see. So thanks for joining us to date on this edition of Toddle In from our journey from the West Coast to Southern Ontario. We're back into the States, and we are westbound. We are in Iowa. We toddled along I-74. We're now on I-80. And of course, we had to stop at the world's largest truck stop here in Walcott, Iowa. And the Allison Duramax is all fueled up. We're going to go inside, and it says, "We're glad you're here. We're glad we're here," to the world's largest truck stop on Iowa 80. So we'll go inside and poke around and see what little treasures we can take back to British Columbia. So it's raining today. Did you see the lightning show?
Yes, crazy lightning and lots of rain, so it's cooled right down.
So there's the fuel pumps. It's a BP station, and very easy to get in and off the internet. And we've got the truck and the trailer parked there, and we're going to head inside. Oh, this is bigger than a Walmart.
It is much bigger and much more interesting.
So clothing, knickknacks, and paddywhacks. If you're looking for paddywhacks, this is the place to come. Truck museum. Wow. Wow. That's probably about a $10 cup of coffee. Yeah, that'll do. For our son. We are having breakfast where?
At Iowa 80.
Yeah, and oddly enough, this is the first time we both selected the same thing. Light on the cheese, no green peppers. It's called a Western omelet.
It is a
Yeah.
Western omelet with no, green peppers. And it looks great.
Prospective buyer. Is yellow your color?
I like this yellow and the green stripe. It's great.
Red is the fastest color.
It's still a nice looking truck.
It is. So what's your CB handle?
Hot chick from the West Coast.
That's a mouthful. Okay. Okay, we poked around and we had a bit of fun at the world's largest truck stop in Iowa, Elkhart, Iowa. Well, we are stopped for tonight on our way back to British Columbia on Canada's west coast. It was another long day of driving and we covered a lot of miles. Do you remember the interstates that we traveled today?
We traveled 74 to 80 and now we're on I-29.
Okay, I-29. So if you can bring that back up on your iPhone, hopefully you'll see the name of this place where we're staying. It's called Monona County. It's a county in Iowa, and it's located in the U.S. state of Iowa. The country seat is Onowa, I guess. Anyhow, if I butchered that, my apologies. We found
This is a conservation area.
well, it's a brand new campsite.
Yeah, and they just opened the road yesterday and it's beautiful getting in here.
So we've got full hookup, 50 amp, water, and sewer for $20 US a night. And it's a beautiful campsite. It's about 3 miles off of I-29. We're heading north, and it's in that county that I had mentioned to you. And I'll give you a brief overview of the campsite. There's the truck and trailer, and there's a few other guests here. And it's also Sturgis Bike Week, so we've seen a lot of trailer queens. Boo! You got to ride those motorcycles, boys. And a lot of riders have passed us on their way to Sturgis. This is the brand new campsite here, camping and RVing. In the center is full hookup, and on the perimeter it's power only, power and water. I think some of it looks like just power. And there's a gorgeous piece of water, a body of water, right along the edge of the campsite here. And there's a nice breeze blowing. How hot did it get today?
37.
Yeah.
It was warm.
Now that's 37 Celsius.
Yes.
So the math, 37 times 2 is 74 plus 30?
84 plus 30, isn't it?
Whatever. It was hot.
It was hot.
Felt like 105. But we're surrounded by beautiful cornfields here in the state of Iowa, and it's brand new. There isn't much signage off Highway 29 to indicate that this is here.
No, it just says camping. That's it.
That's it. We just spotted one little sign. We thought we'd take the chance, drive in here. It's a brand new paved road right up to the conservation area. And like I say, I'm guessing there's probably 40, 50 sites here. And we met some folks who are planning to stay here for the full 14 nights. That's what they allow you. $20 a night US, full hookup, 50 amp water and sewer. You can't beat it. These are the nice kind of surprises we like. And we're able to tell some roadside stories as we continue to toddle in and toddle on our way back to British Columbia. Any final comments?
It's a great stay, and it's going to be a great night.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Good night from what county?
Tunnel, Iowa.
What is it?
Oh, Monona County, Iowa.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.